for Coach Martin, I mean, everything he's been going through after we got done at Missouri State, going to Tennessee, to Cal, and now at Mizzou, it's not a coincidence, and it's not luck that he's, had the ability to be where he's at now. He's good at what he does on and off the court. He always preached about off the court, and on the court. I mean, that just shows the kind of person that he is. And still to this day, 10 years later, he'll text me, I think, at least once a month. Sometimes it'd be more, just say, how's everything going? How's the family? When my wife was pregnant with our baby boy, he asked what my address was, and there comes a big old box of diapers and wipes. I mean, that's, super cool. Like, that's just the kind of guy that he is. He didn't have to do that. He does not have to have any kind of a relationship with us, 10 years later. But that's just kind of who Coach Martin is. And yes, he was a scary, scary man when you made him mad. I think it's kind of time where it turned around where I was like, okay, you know what? I know I trust this guy, and I have much respect and all respect for him and everything he continues to do with his success. So
I think ultimately he's the leader of men. Like, he really is. He's someone that commands respect. And you're not ever going to agree with everything that your coach does, but at the end of the day, I would have tried to run through a brick wall if he asked me to. He commanded that type of respect. He held you accountable. You weren't going to get away with things. My memory, one time in practice, I was known to let my emotions get the better of me in practice every now and then, as I'm sure these guys remember. And I said something, he called me out, and I said something to him, like, kind of clapped back at him a little bit. And he said, look, we can go down right now, you and me in the locker room, and we can handle this like men. And when he said that, I was like, all right, that's a very lose-lose situation for me. And from that point on, I kind of knew, like, you stay in line, you do your job, shut your mouth to the best of your ability, because, like I said, he's a leader of men and he commands respect, but he does it the right way.
He did not care to call you out. And even to this day, this is going to be, like I said before, this is going to be my 9th year professional. And I've never had a coach that he did not say a cuss word, but at the same time, he was not afraid to call you out on anything. And for me, that is something that I will always cherish, because even to this point, playing as a professional, you don't always get that. And it just makes your job easier. It makes it better for you to bring what you do to the table and be able to do it consistently. And that's, in my opinion, that's the best thing that he did, was just hold guys accountable on and off the court. And I'm forever grateful.
I can add to that, just from being on staff with him for the last 2 years, and the consistency, I think, for all of us, and get to be yourself. I think that's the one biggest thing that I can see from all of us. You never had to change who you are or try to fit in with a certain group or anything like that. Like, exactly who he was on the court, that's who he was off the court. He wasn't never the guy that's going to burn you out. He let you be yourself. He let you be a young man, an adult in a sense, and be like, you're in college. I'm not here to babysit you. Do the right thing, and I don't have to give you so many consequences. So it was like a lot of free flowing, but it was just out of love, and he wanted us to all be successful. And that's the one thing that I see him continuously do. He wants you to be successful off the court, because at the end of the day, we all under his tree, and we all represent each other. So, that's the one thing I can say from being on the staff and just understanding, like, man, this guy's consistent, family first, and he gonna give it his all.
With that team being such a veteran team, everybody here is seniors or juniors, and then being the new guy kind of on the squad, it was a real eye-opener when I walked on campus in June, and the level of intensity that I had to raise my game to. That was a big part of the season for me. It's kind of like, all right, this is going to be something special.
Like, I remember the summers, like going out on the football field at 3:00 in the afternoon. You could see the heat waves coming off the field, doing the stadiums, doing the sprint, like the grind in the weight room, the grind and off season that went into it. It just made it all that more special when we actually won the Valley.
I think his ability to connect with everybody differently, he showed you daily that he cared about you. He'd be extensive in asking you about your family and how people were doing, and you could always tell it was genuine, because he remembered names, he remembered situations that you may have talked to him about in the past, and he would ask about those situations directly. And so when you get that kind of love and approach from a coach, head coach, you will do anything to help him succeed, and you'll do anything to, play as hard as you can, almost run through a wall for him. And then you'd be disappointed when you don't break through that wall, just because he gave you so much fire and pushed you. And every time you stepped on the floor, he was gonna give his best. And as a player, you wanted to give your best to not let him down, and obviously not let your brothers down that's next to you.
We were the first team ever from the Valley that won the regular season outright with the amount of wins that we had to not make the tournament. I knew it was going to be close, but I think what was so disappointing was we had such a senior and old group. We were such an experienced team. If we could have gotten into the tournament, I really believe we could have made some noise. I really believe that we could have made a deep run in there. So I was just hoping that we would get the benefit of the doubt for having an old, experienced team. And that's one of the biggest disappointments of my life is not getting in there. I'm so proud of what we did, but, every time I think of my time at Missouri State, it's a little bit tough because I know we couldn't have made a run in the tournament. We deserve to be there.
It was kind of shocking. I know we had just a few weeks before that maybe a loss on the road at Evansville that was kind of, that hurts. And you see it every single year. Team, why didn't they make the tournament? Well, look at this loss to this team and this team. And then we had another one. So, it was like 2 games there. Maybe if we would have won one of those two, but and then in the long run, we had a chance in the championship game and the conference tournament to really quiet it up. But I think we all were kind of a little bit shocked maybe we didn't make it, and it was a bummer.
The times that we had all the way to Placer Stadium, lifting weights, like Z said, running at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, playing at the courts in the pro-am games, all these different segments and obstacles that we had, it's something that I'll never forget. And it's just one of those voids in my life that I'm going to have to think about or feel in a different way to think about what if.
I know we fell short, but just kept working. Even though we knew we were the NIT, we didn't want to go to NIT. In our minds, we weren't thinking, man, this is the NIT, this is weak. Like, we're going down to play Miami. First we had to play Murray State. And over the last 5 or 6 years, Murray State's been in the tournament and doing things against, high-profile teams. So we knew that they were a really good team, and we beat them at home. And going down to Miami, there's nothing better than beating an ACC team on ESPN. And
it was hard. Like, still to this day, I haven't watched the Indiana State game, and I don't think I'll ever watch it. I put a lot on myself, and you got to think, when you're in the Valley, it don't matter where you play at, home or away. It's going to be to the wire. And I just think we probably ran out of gas and we was excited, but the way we played, I'm going full court, everybody pressing up, and it just it was really shocking not to get into the NCAA tournament, because I look at Indiana State and that's not taking nothing away from them, but just imagine if we was that seed and going playing against Syracuse, what would the outcome could have been? And that's how I look at it. There's no way that, and I still feel like this, if you win a conference, you should get an automatic bid. I think if you win your conference, you should get that automatic bid to the NCAA tournament, because we went through it that year and we really put in the work to get there and being the first team from the Valley. So, that's still a bittersweet year just because of that. We didn't get in, but I still appreciate every day that we grinding for each other.
To go along with what Will said, if we would have got in, I feel like us being a senior-dominated team, also with 3 to 4 juniors on that team, I felt like that we would have made some noise, and it hurts to this day.
I kind of let it go after it took a while, maybe 2 weeks or whatever, because, everybody knows I had that last turnover at the end of the game. To add to Kyle's point, just sitting at Coach Martin's house, looking at Missouri State come up there, the last 14 in, then it goes to last 14 out, and, back and forth for a while. Then you see you don't get in, it definitely hurts.
We never really got to think, after our last game or whatever, we had our banquet and everything. Obviously, we thank our parents and our and the coaches and everything and whatnot. But the fans, it's without, I could sound a little cliche, but without them, we couldn't have probably beaten Wichita State. We wouldn't have kind of went on the run that we had, because it was intense every single game going from our junior year to our senior year. And it kind of pushed us and motivated us. And I've always wanted to I've thanked a lot of people that I've got to, after playing ball, got to thank them personally, when I've seen them around. But definitely wanted to pass the thank you for all the support and love that everybody's shown over those years that we were there. going down from maybe just the fans, but also the guys working and being there every single game. All the guys at the scores table, the announcer. The names are a little blurry, but I mean, it's I still see the faces and everything, everybody there. So never got to personally thank all those people. So if they do happen to watch this, huge thank you for all of that stuff. And I'll always be a Bears fan and always root for the Bears, and hopefully they can get back on track and get into the tournament here sooner than later.
I do want to say thank you, to the fans, like Adam said, the ones that you don't get to tell thank you or you never did, never was able to tell thank you. But to the fans now and the team now, I would just tell the team just to buy into the system and to the fans just, I mean, they're going through it, 2 coaches in the last, 6-7 years now. So there's a lot of changes going on around there. And it only takes one coach and one group of guys, to get you back on top. So just be patient and just keep supporting them. Keep coming to the games. Keep cheering for them even when they're down. I know in the Q we were down a lot. And we came back because of those guys. Creighton is one of the big games that we had there, and we were down 14 or something like that to them. So just buy into the system and keep supporting them.
I give credit to the fan base. I think that team that year showed what Missouri State program is capable of. I think the connection we had with the fans that year showed that it is a first-class program and it can get back there. Like all these guys were saying, there was several games that we had no business winning. Truly, you hear people say this all the time, but, the Wichita State game, I think we're up 7, something like that, and they hit 3 big shots and it's a tie game and we're deflated. And then, the fans give us that energy. Adam hits that shot. There were so many games like that we wouldn't have, gotten to win without the fan support. So to the guys there now, just know that the potential to have the kind of season that we had that you'll never forget, that'll change your life. It's there. And, I'm hoping to see the Bear basketball program explode and reach its potential. And I'm so thankful for my time there. Went from a walk-on to just an insane temperamental guy, and they accepted me who I was. And, I'll never forget my time there. And I just want to thank everybody that was a part of it.
I want to thank the people behind the scenes that don't really get a lot of credit, like Tyler Landgraf, who's still there in the training room, Coach Sauerbrau pushing us in the weight room. There's a lot behind the scenes that fans and outside don't see that goes into putting a team together. And for the fans, they just got to have the support no matter what's going on. Like if you show up and cheer on your team and the arena is full, the results are going to be better than if it isn't. So I hope I can get back to that consistently down there. And also the current players, just whatever your role is, you're not always going to understand it at the time. Just keep pushing to excel in what you're doing. And then a lot of those lessons and things you're going to learn are going to be way down the road. But just try to maximize whatever role you're given. Just try to do it to the best of your ability.
The main thing is obviously thank you to the people that were there during our time, but also the season ticket holders that are still there now that were there 10 years ago. Obviously, it's a whole new student section, a whole new student process that's going on now. But understand, if you love sports, if you love the game of basketball, please show your support because it's so very important. Like Jermaine said, we were behind in the Creighton game. We came close in the Wichita game. That was the most meaningful game of the year. We were in a close game against Illinois State, Evansville, all these different teams, Nevada, the year before our championship run. So just never give up on your team. But as far as the players that are there now, it doesn't matter what happened before you got there or what's expected of you now. Put the time in now, do your work on and off the court, and you will receive the results that you want to receive. But there's nothing better than the brotherhood that we all have. Some is a little bit stronger avenues than other, but there's nothing better than what we have. And we could call each other 20 years down the line from now and pick up just like we just picked up after we won the conference championship. And I think that that's something special that we'll be able to hold on to forever. And it's just important to stay in touch, to keep going, keep fighting. And like Adam said, we're rooting for you. The alumni is rooting for you, and keep putting in that work. And it's Bear Nation until we die.
Not a whole lot left to be said there. I mean, everybody said it so well. Just want to echo the thank yous that I owe personally to all the people in Springfield and support the program, a part of the program. Couldn't have enjoyed it more. And then to the team, just try and put all the little things aside and come together and form that brotherhood. Like Kyle said, 10, 20 years later, it'll still be there, and kind of make your memories, have a Wichita game, because the people in Springfield support the program. They love the program. They'll come back out. You start having success, and the atmosphere will rival the Cameron indoors and the Fox Allen Fieldhouse and things like that. I mean, they can do it, and it's a great place to play, especially when you're having success.
People have to be patient. They have to understand it's not as easy as it seems. There's a lot of moving parts. A lot of things have to go right. There has to be a little luck involved. But most importantly, the supporters, the fans, the Bears, the athletes, they need you to support them daily through the ups and downs. They need to know that you believe in Coach Ford at this time. They need to know that you believe in the players, and just stick with everybody. It'll be a great time, and I think the future's bright in Bearland, and I'm excited to see it.